perfect crime.
And I just listened to Lil Wayne all the time. That's all I was doing, dude. It was.
This is New Orleans.
No,
Did you guys have a phase?
I'm from Northern Virginia, but
Yeah.
Did you guys have a phase at any point where you thought you might become a rapper?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you smoke
Yeah,
enough
that's your
weed,
all's era, huh?
like I'm there.
Well, dude, I was. To be fair, all we did was freestyle rap all the time. I'm sure Isaac is more of my era. That's all we did was skip school, smoke blunts, and freestyle rap. That's it. And then occasionally hang out with chicks.
Did you have bars? Were you nasty at it?
Yeah, dude. There used to be like a website that you used to like post your raps. I can't remember what that was. Obviously, it was the Dat Piff era. I don't know if you guys ever remember Dat Piff. We were listening to Dat Piff. Yep. That was because at that time, that's kind of part of the reason I came to New Orleans is like I had never hung out in New Orleans. And so I was like, oh, I love Lil Wayne. This is like when I was, 20 years earlier or whatever. But there was a moment in time in like 05, 06 where I think Lil Wayne put out like a mixtape like every week for like 6 months straight.
That was like
the greatest.
That was my first like introduction to music. My sister's boyfriend at the time gave me an iPod. It just had like every Lil Wayne mixtape on it, like 100. That was like my introduction to music. My parents like didn't show me any music growing up, so that was like my first like introduction to like music at all.
So did this Wolf guy, was he respected by the black community?
He was, yeah, he was, because he would like freestyle.
Cool. They thought he was like hard and a good rapper.
Well, he would like say the N-word and stuff like in his raps, like when he like first started out.
But well, actually, I don't know. That was later. It's kind of ballsy. In my day,
2014,
all white people were saying nigga. That's all we said all the time with our black friends all the time.
In New York, like all teenagers just say the N-word no matter what race. Like, all the time, yeah. Like all teenagers in New York are like the ghettoest people ever. Like no matter how much money they make, they just become ghetto shit.
The natives in New York are the worst.
Well, are you in New York now?
It's the milieu where it's the what's his name milieu, Harmony Korine. It's the same milieu as Harmony Korine. So they're just a bunch of rich kid edgelord Jews who are being pedos, who have been manufactured.
Wait, explain the pedo thing. What's the pedo thing?
Who've been manufactured by their parents, who are single women who live in the West Village, like
or Jewish.
Yes, like this kid was.
Isaac, how was your doctor's appointment, buddy? So you have gout. You have gout of the wrist too.
The entire medical system is truly just.
Hold on. Before you explain everything that's wrong with you, but can you do it in a Jewish accent? Because that's going to get me where I need to be.
am in a Jewish accent. What do you mean?
Yeah, I can't hear it anymore. Every day I'm on these calls. Everybody sounds the same. So we went over everything with Chudkey here. Chudkey, the Ludkey. This is his real name, Isaac. Did you know this?
Mm-hmm.
Is that crazy? Is that crazy? To have?
Yeah, everybody's got a fucking fake name. Everybody's so gay now. Everybody's just like trying to do like thinks they're like anon. Like, dude, AI is gonna take your job anyways. Nobody even cares if you're racist anymore when they hire you. They're like, wait, you can read?
Yeah, it kind of just seemed like too much work. I had a fake name for like a second. I was like, this is stupid. Like, no one's going to read this shit under a fake
Where are you in New York now?
I live in the East Village, but I'm in Maine right now on assignment.
Dude, Chudkey.
Oh, that's right.
I see him. He spawns in my neighborhood.
Is this how we got introduced to Ludkey? Through you?
Yeah,
I knew him. I met Chudkey at Rain. And I was looking for writers.
Chudkey, what's crazy is like he's low key the best looking midweek mid we would have had ever.
Thank you, man.
If you were to just like use that skill to. How many of your sister's friends are going to be our midweek mids after?
Dude, actually, a
Absolutely.
lot of them want to be. They all want to be midweek mitts.
I like that. There we go. Now we're talking.
That's beautiful. We got a whole stable.
The midweek mitt is doing fucking great. It's a cultural
institution at this point.
Institution.
Yeah, this is like the next It Girl. Every midweek mitt is going to be the next It Girl in 3 months.
It's going to become the first step. Like, if you want to get to being like a famous actress, if you want to get to being a pop star, step 1 is midweek mid. Mm-hmm. That's entry level.
We definitely need to make better inroads with Hollywood executives, though. Dallasania, we could literally just get hot chicks to put in Dallasania movies, and then we would be those guys. Be like, Dallas, put this chick in this.
Can we get a photo of each of your sister's friends and like rank them from 1 to 6?
Yeah, real quick. See, this is why we want fucking raped goy slave, our Mexican, on here. He can do that quickly. Isaac's working really hard. I'm so glad he's on this podcast. It's like super important to him to participate.
Me. Wow!
God,
imagine you doing something. Imagine you doing something.
Yeah, actually, Harrison, maybe we'll podcast and you work on the email stuff.
Imagine learning how to read a graph. Imagine looking at a graph that goes.
You don't read a graph. You just let Claude read your graphs.
Yeah. Why would I read? First off, reading a graph is for the goy. I let the machines read graphs for me, and then tell the Jews. The Jews are like, "No, I need you to tell me in your own words."
That's true.
I don't trust them.
No. Here's a question for
show my audience. Work ass.
Here's a question
ass,
for the nigga. If you ask somebody a question and then they send you 17 pages of Claude slop as a response, that's like fuck you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not even read it.
See, totally.
The 17 pages of the Claude slop literally has a TLDR that's 2 lines.
I just don't understand. Also, what you did before Claude. Like, how were you employable at all before Claude was invented?
What does Harrison do?
I did this manually. I did it manually.
He just makes little Claude reports.
I did this all manually. I am the.
Oh, wait, Harrison made the little app that was in the group chat?
I did.
It doesn't work? That doesn't work.
I don't even do that.
Yeah,
no, that's our Mexican retarded goy slave. I made. Listen, I made the entire website. I made the whole website. I did I'm doing all the emails. We got all the shit going on. I made the fucking Jewish Holocaust video game that's probably going to get me fired from my job. I literally work for Israel. So whatever. This is why I'm angry, because we have this freaking Polish fat fuck Denzel over here.
I'm not fat.
Yeah, you are, dude. You try to act like you're not, but I saw you recently. He's eating bagels and shit. Hold on, Isaac, did you ever dip blunts in codeine cough syrup in Chicago in the days?
No. I wasn't that hardcore, dude. That was like really ghetto. I still grew up in the era where like I'm not like
well, it's a southern thing, to be fair. It's a little bit of like
dude,
southern rap thing.
Like I didn't even drugs weren't that like it was weed. Weed was for sure everywhere, right? That was the thing that people did. But I'm like I'm from like the lower middle class. People didn't do coke or like do weird shit like that. Yeah, in the actual hood, people did shit like that. But we were in like the kind of borderline suburban hood.
Yeah,
like
but I mean, codeine cough syrup
doing that crazy, really.
Cough syrup. You guys never did robo tripping?
No, not till people didn't do that shit until college. For me,
at 7 a.m. my friend Everett, who lived 3 houses down from me, and I would drink an entire bottle of Robitussin before we went to school and just see how it would go.
Yeah,
and that's before we got into the codeine. Then when we found the codeine, my dad had a liver transplant, like when I was like in 3rd grade. Yeah, and he had a kidney transplant like 10 years ago. He's fine.
Clean living?
Well, his liver transplant was from a blood transfusion. That's what he says. But I think it was because he was banging sketchies back in the day. But I don't know.
I think you've told this story on here before. Get some
maybe.
better
But we had every now. My mom was a labor and delivery nurse. She would get like codeine cough syrup, or my dad would have some pills or something like that. And bruh, dude, we were stealing anything we could find in the medicine cabinet. We were dipping our blunts in it. We were drinking it before school. That's all we did. That was like right after 9/11. Think about how great America was. Great from 2001 to like 2007. Optimal. Best time in America, maybe.
Were you kind of doing it to deal with 9/11?
Oh, yeah. I was crying every day, honestly, for years after that, after 9/11. No joke, though. I did go to the funeral of a lady I went to the funeral of a dude that died on the plane that went into the Pentagon.
Damn.
She worked with my mom because I'm from Northern Virginia. And then it's funny because I was at AmFest. I might have even told this story too. I was at AmFest this past year, and this guy was like going off on conspiracy theories, right? He's drunk at the place we were throwing this party. And it was early. It was like 6 or 7 o'clock, and he's hammered, and he's talking about like there's no plane went into the Pentagon, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of believe everything you're saying, but like definitely somebody died on those planes, because I went to like a funeral, and then dude asked me if I was like a paid crisis actor and was dead serious.
This is like when people think like the Trump assassination was fake, but they don't know that someone died at the assassination. I'm like, who do you think that person was like exploded? Like, there's like this is like the one conspiracy theory every like liberal like 70 is like okay with. They're like, that was a fake assassination attempt, but they like can never explain that like someone died like by being shot. They're not very good at it.
They don't even. Yeah, I mean. Doesn't even conversation.
So Chudkey, I want you to respond to the main attack you've been facing from this article, specifically on Instagram. Is a lot of people with like 3rd grade reading level comprehension saying that you're platforming a abuser. What do you think about this as a freelance journalist?
That was a funny thing.
You know.
Why did you choose to platform him, and what's your response to that?
I was trying to dissect his twisted mind, see how he got here. But he ran out of minutes for the prison film this month, so people have to wait till August for him to be platformed, then they can like call him or whatever.
But do you think, because you tried, can you tell like a little bit of the story of you tried to pitch this to Vice? Or you did pitch it to Vice? Because it seems like
Vice bid immediately.
It seems like the response that some people have had like shows why Vice didn't want to publish it, but it's really stupid. So I kind of want to hear like what they were saying, if it's the same thing.
This is like over a year ago. I had pitched it to Vice. It was kind of like and they were like, okay, this is great. Wrote a rough draft. They paid me. Then I went through like a really long editing process because Vice does not have a lot of people on their editing board right now. So it took like a year. And then eventually when it became time to put it out, they had like a last minute editing process, and they kept like, they wanted to make it like trendy or like something so they can, you know who David is? He was like an LA rapper that like killed his like underage girlfriend.
Oh yeah, that just happened. Yeah, they found her body in his Tesla in the Hollywood Hills.
They wanted to be like, oh, this is like the new version of this guy. Blah blah blah.
That doesn't even make any sense.
No, it didn't make any sense at all. These are also British people, so they don't really know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, that's always so sad. Yeah, no. When I look at this story, I love it because it's like this snapshot in this time in culture that existed. That was very finite and like or discrete in its own way. It was like this is after. Because I consider like the Lil Wayne era and then like the Drake era a little bit. I guess Drake era is maybe around similar times, maybe a little bit later. But it's like the SoundCloud rapper phenomenon was very much like that was like 2014, 14 to like 17, and then like woke shit started happening. Like I thought it was interesting because it was almost like it's rap's own like grunge era, kind of like to what Denzel was sort of saying. It was like
it was like this moment, or became super famous.
Right. It was like
or went to prison for pedophilia,
and it was weird and sad. There was like sad music. There was like just weird shit. Some stuff was just weird and it went off. And then you get some of these like, now you sort of, you know, some of the drill rappers, it's like just not rapping on the beat and just terrible shit. It's sort of like an outcropping of that. And I've never gotten that, but I always thought there was like I always thought it was like it was an interest, because I love Suicide Boys. I was such a Suicide fanatic. And that was just like a super specific era. And then, yeah, like you said, like, yeah, you either died, you went to jail, or you were fucking, or now you're straight edge. Like, I don't think Suicide Boys even do drugs anymore. I think they're all like completely sober, and they're like live like 40 minutes from me, like in White Covington, Louisiana. And it's like, I think that's where they're from. But like the music video, like, have you guys, the music video for this?
Fat Nick.
Paris, Suicide Boys.
No, I haven't. I'm just like, now I'm just brainstorming rappers. Puya, Fat Nick. You remember those guys?
Fat Nick. Not really.
Fat music, fat guy.
I love that. He's just a fat guy.
Nick, Puya. He was like a fat white guy with like dreadlocks.
Have you guys ever seen this?
No.
Can you hear this?
I can hear it.
I love how it's all white people. White rap. 2000, and it was just about doing drugs and wanting to kill yourself.
This is Suicide Boys?
Yeah.
It's actually funny. All right. I think we got it. Dude.
I don't get
it's actually funny.
You don't get. First off, that song is literally 10 years old. That's like
there's a dude working for Mama right now who like used to make videos.
Yeah, he's done some videos for him.
It's funny how many like New Orleans connections we have. When I was in New Orleans, it was Bounce.
Well, it's still Bounce. That's sort of like DC's Go-Go, right? It's the cultural. Yeah, it's like the music of the city. That's always going to be a thing. New Orleans, like Suicide Boys was never really, I mean, it's always been New Orleans, but it was like North Shore whiteys. It was heroin rap. It was like sad boy. It was emo rap.
That's the same kind of shit that this dude Wolf.
Right. That's what I'm saying is like, that's why I think this is like an interesting, I think we should do more of these like,
I want to hear though.
It's lost culture. Why are we not? Like sort of lost.
It really is. I was thinking about that. There's not like a good SoundCloud documentary on like all these like speaker knockers or like.
Well, nobody knew unless you were like of a very specific age, right? Because this was as the Gen X, not Gen X. It was as Gen Z sort of growing up. It was like millennials had sort of moved out. I don't even think a lot of millennials were listening to like SoundCloud rappers, right? This was like a very specific audience, a very specific channel. It was like such a weird time that, I think it's completely lost culture. And it XSX was one of the people, right? I mean, he was kind of the main SoundCloud rapper in some ways.
Definitely.
No, but some of the people you're naming, I'm like, who are you even talking about? And I'm like, But what's crazy is like millions of people know who they are, bought their merch, consider them like some of their favorites or like foundational, but like they're complete nobodies to.
Yeah, see, these are all like white people, black people. There's always like white people, black people, and then there's actual black people. I hung out with like actual black people. Okay.
Well, no, but this was the era. This was like
black world. I wasn't in the like pretend like underground rap white people suburban guy world. I was in the like actual all black people.
I think this was just a crossover moment, though.
Do you remember Crucial Conflict? You don't even know anything about Crucial Conflict, do you? See, Chicago was
like Common?
Its own. No, oh my God, that's the fucking white people rap. Of course, that's what you know. No, dude, no, like Twista. Remember Twista?
Yeah,
yes, I remember Twista.
And like Crucial Conflict and Bone Thugs and Harmony. They were not from Chicago, I know, but they were Cleveland. And that whole era was not like influenced by white rich people at all.
No.
It was just like actual black people completely separated from white people in any way, making their own shit. and
the
it like
SoundCloud
wasn't what.
Like
Sorry.
SoundCloud rappers are the first people to like really like harness the internet and be like, it was like
Well,
cool to
that's
like be
so
independent.
much later, dude. That's so much later on. You're talking about 15 years later. I mean, I'm talking about like this is like 1998.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's talking about SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying like SoundCloud rappers are much more of like a phenomenon of like, I mean, what SoundCloud, like this guy, he's like too early, like 2012.
So this is sort of the interesting thing is like,
can we look at this on the screen? I want to hear like, actually, did we like introduce what this article is and what Jack actually did? Like he went and visited this dude in prison. Like, why are you giving him a platform?
We did this while you were on the call, actually, but you were too busy working.
You were getting prep, so you missed that part.
So hold on. So we have the article.
Pull up one thing I want to rap video when it comes up.
Go ahead.
Pull up when it goes to Tompkins Finest. Just pull that up at some point.
Like, why were you so interested in this guy?
Wait,
like, why did you like?
Hold on. What are you asking me to do?
There's one of the links that has a cool music video.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I was interested in it because I was like, because it's like in New York now, it's like really hard to imagine someone who is like so controversial, like still being like popular, like able to perform at all, you know? So I was like sort of interested in like just how much different the like accepted culture was at that time.
All right, let's watch this real quick.
This black guy is Turk who Scrubs' his younger brother.
Get off my beef, I ain't no stroganoff. Get off my island, you been voted off. Flow deeper than the ocean, one you can't float across. Hoes tweaking for the potion, not talking soda pop. Most leaving for the verse and they say they know the boy. But I'm the rap supreme, wash you like laundry, now my jack is clean. Squash you like giants, fuck a magic bean. Hotter than jet fuel, melting metal beams. San Pedro tea, now I got mescaline. Living in the matrix, now I'm Morpheus. Dorsal fin in the water, looking out for these sharks. They trying to bite off my art, I'm trying to cut off their ears and drain the blood from their heart. They always asking about my fears and I don't know where to start. But here I am like METHOD. I got the dopest shit, I hope that you
Alright, hold on.
You always talking all this shit, but trust me.
Turning it off. What year is that? Oh, that's old.
That doesn't even sound like SoundCloud rap to me. That sounds like underground hip hop more.
Yeah, it's like it's like New York. That's like New York style rap. Is like this cipher format, and it's like these.
That
like,
sounds like really like these dudes like really conscious rap, like woke kind of rap, like smart college mulatto black guy rap.
This zoom on.
Hold on, did you say that dude that was rapping? That's Donald Faison's.
That's his younger brother.
My roommate in college lived across the hall from him in Hell's Kitchen.
Donald Faison?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, my buddies. Yeah, he was in his. This is I think I've told the story too, but his name's Eric Chayefsky. His grandfather was Patty Chayefsky, and they lived in Hell's Kitchen. And I thought they were poor, or I thought they were just like middle class Jews from New York. And then one day I walked into the house. I lived with him and his sister, and his sister is super hot. And Eric had the hottest girlfriend in the fucking world. It was insane. But he never showered, and he was just gross, like Manhattan dude. And
tried and true.
Him and his sister were crying on the couch when I walked into the house, and they were like watching like CNN, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And they were like. And Eric was like, "Oh, dude, my dad's getting arrested right now on CNN." And they were walking his dad in handcuffs into the courthouse in Manhattan. He was like part of like some multi-billion-dollar like scheme or whatever. He ended up not actually getting in any trouble, but it was pretty epic. I was like, "Hold on, who are you guys?" And then I learned about the Chayefskys and the Jews. Changed my life. Thanks. That was my story about New York and Donald Faison.
Yeah, their dad was like some like famous like Harlem theater guy who like owned some big legacy theater building in Harlem.
Yeah.
So Jack, what was this guy's like when you talked to him?
Yeah, like this is what I want to know. Like, why? First of all,
I won't finish answering. I forget my question. Never mind.
Just shut up, Denzel. Why were you interested in this guy? Why?
I was just interested because that he like sort of had the success that he did, and like even after he was like canceled multiple times, like more established artists still wanted to like bring him into their projects. Like he was like he had like he like read a short story with Kat Marnell like probably like a year before he was arrested. You know who Kat Marnell is?
Kat Marnell. No.
Kat Marnell is like she's like she was like a New York girl. She wrote How to Murder Your Life. This is like in like Carrie Bradshaw-esque world where she wrote like a memoir basically about like sort of being a New York journalist or whatever. She was like worked for a fashion magazine. And this is like 2017. So this is like a very like sort of well-respected girl in like New York literary scene who did a reading with Wolf Margulies where they read a story about like how he like wanted to give his girlfriend AIDS. It was like shit like that. Like he kept getting like sucked into like actual like higher brow New York art stuff, like while being canceled.
So that's interesting. Like, why were highbrow New York literary people like into him? So like black people liked him, like hood black rapper people liked him, but also these like, you know, Oberlin College like literary people liked him. So why were they interested?
I mean, he's honestly just like very charismatic person who like obviously like did very well for himself, like not very well, but like he like sort of had like because he was like always like honest, you know, he would be like, oh, like I am all these things, but like I'm gonna tell you about it like straight away until like he went to prison or what until he was like on trial. Then it was like, okay, this was all a joke, you know. This is like classic like backtracking in front of the judge. But yeah, he just like always like sort of like even when he was like couldn't really perform anymore, he would get like sucked up into like higher echelon like art thing. Like he is like in the Bajarn Melgrad piece.
He's his like, opening line, like the biggest chud I've ever seen in my entire life. He's like, he's like he needs the 2-hand rabbit thing. You don't know how to open wine like a European, bro. You live in New Orleans. You can't. You're like stumbling all around.
He's drinking Taylor.
We also can't hear you, dude.
I was hoping no one would tell him we can't hear him.
Can we just respect Ludkey for 5 minutes? Let him finish a fucking
story
before one of our fucking faggot asses.
This is what I want to know. I want to know this, and then just interrupts.
Hold on, Isaac. Let Isaac finish his dumbass question. But wait, was it Gonzo? Was it Gonzo to meet this guy?
Dude, what I'm trying to hear is how much how Gonzo was this whole thing. Like 1 to 10.
Extremely Gonzo.
But hold on, Isaac, to be fair, I can't believe you're drinking a Diet Coke. Holy fucking shit. You're such a faggot. But hold on,
dude, I gotta get my face skinny. My face is too fat.
You have a tiny Diet Coke and I have a tiny Coke.
Yeah, dude. Look,
my camera just
you guys should have 2 liters of Coke. Normal.
You shouldn't be drinking anything ever except water, apparently. You should just kill yourself. No, but hold on. I did introduce this whole piece, Isaac, while you were getting your gout looked at as perhaps the only Gonzo piece in the year of 2026.
Yeah, this was a major Gonzo. This was a major moment in
Gonzo history.
Really, the best point
him recently. I'm sorry.
Well,
when did
you found out. Okay.
Sorry. When did you actually visit him?
Like over a year ago.
Okay. But like how long ago? Like within the last 5 years?
Yeah, like a year ago. Probably like exactly a year ago. I had done like a whole.
He had been in there. Okay. But he has been in there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Is this a guy who thinks about himself as like a troll, or does he think he's like a great artist?
He thinks he's a great artist, for sure.
Like his perception of himself is like, I'm like a genius, like a Harmony Korine type of guy.
I mean, probably not anymore. I don't know. I mean, like he definitely has like
the vibe I get from him. I didn't feel like I got a super good vibe of where he's at now, other than for him saying like, yeah, this is the dumbest thing ever. I shouldn't have done this. But again, I kind of come back to this. It's this small cultural moment where like I think a lot of people were trying to figure out how do I make a name for myself in this post controlled distribution era, right? Because it was always it was radio until 2014, 15, 16.
Do you remember the rapper that got Anne Frank tatted on his face?
No, but how does he not work for Mom of the Magazine? Holy
I don't
shit.
know. Well, I think he had a kid. He like literally had Anne Frank like right here. And then he was like, he like posted a photo of like an ultrasound. He was like, I'm retiring from rap.
Dude, it's just so there were a couple gonzo moments in the piece that were really standout because you actually did real reporting that no one else knew, which was you found out what actually got him in there, right?
Yeah.
Which nobody else knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was trans.
Nobody knew why you went to jail?
Baby rape.
Yeah. Well, in my mind, I was like,
what? Wait. What?
Yes, Wampus didn't read the article clearly.
It's already explained this
amazing
earlier.
Preparation.
I said it earlier. I thought he was Jewish. I told him I can't read any articles that are written by Jews, but then I found out he's actually just Aryan, and now I can read his article.
Dude, you need to make a Claude summary report really quick while we're on the podcast.
That's usually what I do.
Claude, what the summary of the article is?
Ask Claude.
I don't work in creative, okay? I don't read the shit, all right? I just take the Jew slop into my soul. Although I did read the concentration camp article, which I liked. It felt like it was written by me, in a way. It was like, I also think that no Jews died in the Holocaust. I like this story. This is good. It was actually the other white people. It wasn't the Germans.
Definitely would
it was
not
the
be
other.
capable of writing that in any way.
Also, this was not, I just want everybody to know this was not a Holocaust revisionism piece. It was
adding to the universe of.
No, it was not. It was not Holocaust.
Okay, it was just
can
Holocaust
we go back to
curious.
Explain the baby rape.
Yeah, explain the baby rape, trans baby rape.
This was so at the time this was like Wolf was dealing drugs and he had like a clean phone when he went to Israel. So this was like something like someone
and then trans baby rape got him there.
So I guess on Kick, if you get a message, it automatically downloads to your phone. So this was like sent to him by like a trans woman who he didn't really know that well, and he was like LOL, and then deleted it. And then when he went back through TSA, they like cloned his phone and saw this in the deleted file. And we're like, but in my mind, I thought it was like an underage girlfriend or something like that. I thought it was like sort of.
Yeah. So he had a baby rape video on his phone that was sent to him by a trans girl. I don't even know what a trans girl is, but I guess it's a tranny that's a girl or a guy. Does that mean it's a girl or a guy? I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's a tranny. And this is like what they're doing in New York City. This is what's happening in Lower Manhattan. What's happening is a 39-year-old Jewish lesbian who's so rich, she just has a baby manufactured. She lives in the West Village. The average rent is like $10,000 a month. And she has a baby manufactured. He becomes with Aryan genes. He's supposed to have Aryan genes. That's the story. She clearly hates him based on the interview you did with her, which was a great interview where she shit talks him. She's like, yeah, he's a little bitch. She's like, he's like, people think he's cool and he's a little bitch. And it's like, I wonder what she says that in the thing. She says he's a little bitch.
Yeah, but in that world, that's a good thing.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it's great to be called a little bitch by your mother, who is a lesbian who had you manufactured with Aryan genes. And then he gets in the tranny world and is getting sent baby rape videos that say LOL. It's like, what was so great about the piece, and the reason why I guarantee you nobody else would have published it, is they were like, this is what's going on with the elites in Lower Manhattan. This is what's happening. Trans baby rape videos, random babies being had out of nowhere. It's like, dude, napalm the entire West Village, man.
It's so funny.
Obviously, fucking tough.
It's so funny because like he was like the suspect of a lot of like 4chan like conspiracy theories because of all these like, you know, boxes checked, you know, trans, Jewish, like West Village stuff. So there was like a couple years ago, there was a hit piece written on him while he was in prison that like interviewed all these like women that like were whatever had bad experiences with him. And so someone they were like trying to see if like you know what Milady is.
Yeah, of course.
They're like someone like another reporter was like thinking that Milady was like financing his like legal defense.
Really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. Wow, that's another interesting
It's not true at all, but this is like
this
is like people like were like they were like this is like where the conspiracy was like ending for them.
Was he affiliated or a member with Milady?
No, he went to prison in like 2018. So this is like before crypto.
This was even before this whole thing, right?
Yeah, this is all like post like fan fiction basically, because like Milady was I don't know what the fuck they were doing. They were doing similar shit in Discord, I assume.
Harrison heard trans baby rape video and immediately went completely silent.
I'm reading the article now because I don't know. I was skimming before.
He's just sounding out the words.
I was skimming. I was skimming, and now I'm
okay.
So the Jew kid, So how did the mom have money?
She's Jewish, bro. Come on.
Just Jew?
Yeah, just Jew. There's no explanation.
Like why is she there as this like she looks like a dysfunctional person?
I heard that she got PPP loans.
Shit.
That's how she funded all this.
Fraudulent PPP loans.
Oh yeah.
For psychotherapy.
Every man wants a little PPP loan. Isaac already said I already admitted.
I already said don't worry about it. I already said don't worry about the PPP money. No, dude, it's great. It's great reporting. It's really good that you got all this information. I just saw it like as like so obviously what it was about was just like you nailed it in the part where you asked the question to him, I think, which was why, kind of like why did this happen? And he gives a pretty articulate response, which is just like, I grew up in a world where everything was already so edgy. Everybody was already trans as fuck. And really the only place I had to go was being a pedo. That was the only way to like be interesting because everybody was already so extreme degenerate. And that's sort of what I've always seen with face tattoos. It's like face tattoos are the perfect example of like the pendulum gone to the point where it stops even making any sense. Like the rebellion doesn't even register anymore. Like it becomes clownish, like almost intentionally, like it's like, it's not. Yeah. And so I feel like he was like, I want to be an edgy kid. The only thing I can do is be a pedo. That's it. That's all I've got because there's no else. How else do I stand out? That's the only thing I can do.
Yeah. And he was like rewarded for it, like both sort of socially and by like higher up people like higher up in like the actual art world.
Yeah. And that's what I've seen. It's like, that's the problem with postmodernism. It's like it reached a limit and it's like, okay, now it's just gross. Now it's just like trash world. There was like Trash Humpers, which was actually a Harmony Korine movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is he went to New Orleans at some point here?
That's where he was arrested. He was arrested in New Orleans. He was there for like a month going to like coding boot camp or some shit.
What? The fuck?
Coding.
This is the most crazy.
He learned to
because
code.
there's kind of like a sad, like he seems to, whatever, fuck him, but like he seems to almost like he decides to get his life together. He's got a girlfriend. He's gonna try to like get a job and just like be normal, and then he just like goes to jail forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you believe these
prison for a long time? I feel like.
I mean, he's literally making posts being like, "I am a pedophile. Come and get me. I'm a pedo. So what? Come and get me right now." And then it's like I don't know. Like
he was
the story of him getting his phone cloned sounds fake.
Why?
Why is that fake?
Like you can get your phone cloned like mad easy.
Yeah, but they're not stopping you, they're not stopping you at the airport and cloning your phone.
I know, but they had been tracking him before he went.
Well, they're not stopping you because you're a federal agent.
Well, like the FBI had been on him for like a year, like I don't know how long before that, but they had been tracking his movements.
Damn, and that's all they found.
Wait,
hold on, but is this in any court documents or is this just what he told you?
No, there's pacer documents.
Yeah, because I'm curious if
it's
that's
actually
like
really
what actually
fascinating
ends
story.
up. But
Yeah, Mama Magazine makes good content. You should check it out sometime.
Me?
Swampish,
I'll
you should
read it
give it a read.
sometime.
Yeah, well,
I'll
I'm
read
just
it
saying,
sometime. It sounds
What?
cool, dude. Honestly,
wait.
whatever you're doing sounds pretty cool, man.
It's cool. It's actually a pretty cool magazine. It's like now that I'm reading the content, it's not that bad.
Now that I'm reading this, I think this is a good idea.
This was our most gonzo moment for sure. What do you think about Jack? And actually,
Drinking. This is a mama drinking game. Isaac said gonzo.
You got a report from Maine in a second, but what do you? The only one of these guys that I had thought was cool at all was Extentacion, however you say that. And everybody thinks I'm really corny because occasionally I post a lot of Extentacion posts because I love him. And he was definitely killed by Drake for sure. I'm 100% certain.
Definitely.
Sure.
So, what do you think about XXX? However you say that.
The fact that anybody thinks Drake's killing anything but man asshole is insane to me.
No, he really did kill him. No, for real.
No,
he
didn't. He wrote a dumb.
Yeah, he did kill him.
He wrote 3 lines in his faggot ass 48 song album, and it's not. He didn't kill XXXTentacion. They literally arrested all 3 of the jigaboos that did it. They were all retarded.
He hired them.
I know he didn't. He didn't, dude. You don't think those guys are going to be like, actually, we were hired to kill him. We didn't want to just rob him because
he had a really strong NDA because of
since he's Jewish. He had a really good NDA.
He is Jewish. That's true. I just don't think those guys' prefrontal cortex was like, we should really think through this, and we better not implicate the guy that paid us. We should just take the fall forever.
I think Israel killed him personally.
Well, that's kind of isn't that kind of, so this guy came back from Israel and then they were like, you got child porn on your phone. That is the most, like, I think he wasn't playing ball with the Clive Davises of the world. Yeah, he wasn't playing ball with the Jewish people that ran the game. He was like, no, I'm making plenty of money selling my little heroin and being edgy, and like I don't need the record companies. And they said, porn on your phone. Boom. Porn on your phone. Done. Done. Jail forever. You're finished. That's what they do. Awesome. They do it to everybody all the time.
Person that think he's innocent.
What happened in Israel?
I know, but everybody you talk to is a fucking loser. That's the truth. They're all tranny teenagers and shit, or they were back then. But you know what I mean? No, not you. Everybody you talk to. Everybody that was implicated or everybody that hates him. He's just like a normal white guy that was a little a little much.
No,
bro.
He was.
You're reading comprehension.
Post, read the pedo post on the article. It's like he was
also like doing like he was like taking like estrogen at some point. He was like doing a lot of cross dressing. He was like really out there, and he was like seemingly doing bad shit to women.
Jack, what is it like in those worlds, like deep in this milieu in New York City? What is it like? Like, are those people like, do they bang each other and it's just all depressing and everybody's just on drugs all the time? Or is there anything unexpected about it? Are they like, reading Proust? Like, what's going on in that world?
It kind of is. I think it's kind of like, everyone ran out of money, and so they like got like significant others to stop doing as much cocaine, kind of like calm down. That's what I did. I don't know.
You're saying that's the vibe.
I mean, it was never like that high up in like the echelon of like the art world. Like this guy probably had like way more connections than I ever will, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, no, okay. So that is like, was everybody he was sort of associating with some sort of closeted rich kid?
I think he was hanging. I mean,
the Donald Faison connection, not to say that person is like, I'm rich, I grew up rich, but like there is a certain level of like, I am surrounded by artists all the time. I have access to smart people and resources and stuff. Like my parents I'm not homeless, I'm not on the subway working for money. Like I get to do creative stuff, like put a camera in front of myself and do rap videos and do a SoundCloud.
New York, just like everything's like sort of squished on top of each other. So it's like a lot of poor kids and rich kids like hanging out because they just do drugs together. Like the drugs just kind of bring everyone together.
Right.
So, like I don't think he was hanging out with all rich kids, but it's just like it kind of like doesn't matter when like everyone's just like on heroin or coke, you know, just like everyone's just a drug addict.
I need to do heroin so bad, dude. It is so fucking gay. I've never done heroin.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be cool. I don't want to shoot it up though. I want to snort it like the cool guy. Like you can't die if you snort it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's much less hard to die.
Yeah, people in New York also snort heroin usually, or now they do. But people in New York just have like a nasal fixation in general.
They love snorting things.
Ludkey kind of gives me the vibe that he's snorting a little bit of heroin in Maine right now. Kind of doing like a Stephen King kind of vibe right now. Yeah, because you're chill, snorting. But also it kind of, you're just sort of look like you're in sort of like this, liminal space. Liminal space, heroin den in Maine.
I think Jack, Jack Hill, you just look like you're in a heroin den at all times, no matter where you are. You could be at a Walmart. You'd be like, are you in a heroin den?
You look like a kind of drug addict that doesn't exist anymore.
Like yeah, you look, well, it's very literary, mobile, it's like literary drug addict. It's like very like Burroughs. You look kind of like a Burroughs type of guy.
Like it's the vibe everybody on Twitter wants to go for, but they're all faggots.
You look very, you know what they say about white people? You know, black people think white people are like wet all the time. You know,
I'm wet.
You're like a very wet. You're like a very wet white guy. Like you're extremely just always damp.
That's true. That's why I rock the wife beater.
I'm a pretty wet white person too. I'm very
you're sweating right now.
Yeah, I am. I'm always sweating, and I love it. I love like the swamp. I love it. Just being vital. Sweating, dude. Yeah, I love it. I love like a hot night sweating.
Yeah.
So what's going on in Maine? Tell us about Maine. What's happening up there?
I think the Dems figured out how to lose. They did. They like because this guy was like supposed to be like the white. He was like the white Obama. They like loved this guy. Like
everybody loved Plattner.
Dude, it was like signs like all the way like down the street, and then like overnight they just all disappeared.
Whoa, is that true? Damn, that's kind of cool. That's an interesting.
And then they just like totally got. This was like he was like a very Maine guy. You know, he had like a bunch of like I've seen like 10 people that look exactly like him, like at the bar.
Yeah.
Well, so you know what this is?
He's like
I'm
stupid,
sorry,
like colorful arm tattoos and like a red beard, and it's like I don't know, just like I don't know, like an alcoholic, sex addict. You know, he's very like Maine. He's like a dark vibe.
And people like that. So he felt like he was like a new. Where did he come from? Like, who was this Graham Platt? Can we just get like a intro to who he was and why we're talking about him?
He grew up in Maine. Then he went to college for like a year, dropped out, did 2 tours in Iraq, went back to Maine for a year, National Guard, back to Iraq. Then he was like a mercenary for like a year or 2, and then he went back to Maine, started like a oyster farm with like, and then he just seemed to be having a lot of sex and drinking a lot after that.
Yep. So he got a lot of pussy. Is that the sense that you get, or did he just get a few examples of weird deranged pussy that came back to bite him?
I think he was just like fucking anyone who was like, let's fuck. Because like all the women he was fucking are like extremely wide.
Yeah.
Robust.
I don't think there's a whole lot of options up there, but maybe I'm wrong. How's the talent up there?
There's some. I mean, I'm in like a sort of rich part, but they're cute. It's like very like hippie vibe, but he wasn't really hippie as much. He seemed more like actual robust Maine.
See, I think this is something that's interesting about the Democrats is that, and I think this will be they'll have their own sort of Trump moment eventually, where somebody can
they're never gonna.
Well, no, I agree with you, but eventually it's like And some of this has to do with the boomers themselves, right? Because the boomers will just say, I don't care who he raped as long as he runs against the people I don't like, you know?
Well,
I think the
that's the
Republicans say that again.
So like that's like the winning attitude if you like care about winning an election, you know.
But that's all they ever usually. That's what I'm saying. Like this whole thing was clearly coordinated by the party, but like what you're saying is like the people would have. You told them that the people would have said, "Man, that sucks. That's unfortunate." But we're gonna vote for our guy. The thing is, like Trump was one of the first people, especially the Republican Party has always been sort of like, oh my gosh, we cast out anybody who's ever racist or bad or anything. They love doing that. They always shit on their own. Literally, like the machine will like cast you out of Congress if you say something racist. And but they stopped doing that. Trump was like sort of the first one that was like, no, he's bad and he's for us, so it's okay. At some point, the Democrats have to do that. And now I don't know if maybe that'll be the far left that will end up doing that because they kind of do that already with like the communists and like the anti-Semites and the Muslims.
Yeah,
they're already sort of
people.
like, yeah, if you're brown and you are a horrible person, we're fine with it.
Good.
There's going to be eventually, there has to be that reckoning with the party of the Democratic Party.
Well, I don't think it's going to be like rape because it's just there's different values between the Republicans and the Democrats. But I think we're already seeing the equivalent of it on the left. Like the equivalent will be like what happened with Mamdani's wife, where you'll find like a tweet from her where she's like, you know, I straight up love terrorists, like cut off the heads of all the white babies, and she'll just not apologize and be like, fuck it, like I'm not apologizing. I mean,
I
guess that's already that's already here.
Honestly, I think the Democrats just like are fine with losing as long as they don't like compromise their moral values of voting for a bad person.
Well, there was some, and I think this goes.
I think they like losing, honestly.
Well, I think it's when they know they're going to lose, or at least if there's a more than 50% chance they're going to lose, they will act from the top and move that person out. That person has no power within the machine. The machine always makes a decision. On the right, it's like Joe Blow, even if like he's staying in the race, it doesn't matter. And you see it all the time in some of these races where like some guy splits the vote because he's a douchebag and he gets 5 or 10% of some fucking retarded vote in Texas. And then Shamit the Jeet fucking wins. And everybody goes, what the fuck? You didn't drop out. And it's because you can't pressure, like there's not a true pressure machine the way that there is on the left, where this dude literally left the race and it was just because a fat girl gave a fucking interview. Like any person in the world, I mean, truly, and I believe even the most leftist person in the world, if you say, hey, this guy's going to win, but you're going to have to just accept the fact that like this fat chick said he fucked the fat chick and she kind of didn't like it. They would all have been like, that's totally fine. We're voting for him no matter what. They don't care.
Is this this Senate seat that like, what does it lean with two generic candidates? Like, is this one
the Republicans won for like 30 years in a row?
So this guy,
they want to flip
it.
They want to flip the seat.
So this guy was like an exceptionally good candidate. Like he was
because he was just the everyman. He was basically the same guy that's always won that seat, just on the left. So I'm an everyman. I'm a good old boy from Maine. You know, I'm a fisherman, lobsterman.
Susan Collins was the holder of the seat.
Yeah,
she's been a senator since.
She's not an every woman, is she?
Yeah, but it's sort of that.
Been for so long.
She's like someone I'd want to like kick it with, have a beer, you know, like shoot the shit.
She like,
but that's sort of like she's considered like an old school Maine girl. She's 73. You know, she's from Caribou. She's like she was in the lumber business. You know? Yeah, like
also like I think people don't actually care about the Senate because it's like
got a bowl cut.
It doesn't affect like Maine like locally, so I think they really need to be like spurned into caring about Graham Plattner. They care about this guy that is them. They don't care about the Senate actually.
So, Jack, is your opinion that like I haven't really looked into any of this. Like, is your opinion that all of the allegations are bullshit, or do you think he probably was getting a little wild with some of these wide women?
I think he was probably just like drinking too much and like, probably like, but if he had never if he had just lived a normal life, he would none of these allegations would have come out.
I think that's literally what the fat chick said.
They're definitely prodded by the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And so
you don't think he did anything actually bad? Like he was probably just like drunk and like trying to get pussy from white women.
The girl said exactly what happened. It's like clearly not. I mean, if you believe every word she's saying is exactly how it happened, then like you have to believe that this guy broke into a fat girl's house to bang her when he was
I don't
drunk.
think he broke into her house.
Dude, she probably was so flattered by that.
My
no
point
one's
is just
probably
like,
ever
dude,
done that.
as a guy that's, you know, I've straddled the line of fats and hots, right? My whole life.
Thin line.
I've always been sort of a middling,
famously a thin line.
Yeah, famously. I've tiptoed this.
Tell me about
it. Dude, if I was back in DC in my 20s, I would get a text from a fat girl 2 to 3 times a week, 4 to 5 times a week. A fat girl that I hooked up with once or twice, and I'd, you know, wasn't so bad to text her every now and then on a lonely night. Yeah. And I wasn't always that nice to her. Wasn't a nice guy.
And what does that mean? You shouldn't be a senator? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
But again, this is like the weird thing about the Democrats. It's like, whatever. You can say this, Swalwell, it was like, okay, these are sketchy allegations. But again, they're just sketchy allegations. Nothing, there's like zero details ever. These chicks actually happen to go do these interviews.
Yeah.
But like the Democratic Party decides you are out. And they will use whatever resources they need to locally, story-wise, to ruin you.
Well, dude, it's literally a national security issue because if he's banging these wide fats and he becomes a senator, he can get honeypotted by a foreign spy like just way too easily.
Yeah, but the Democrats don't care about that. You are right, but that is true about every politician. They are all having sex.
But Swalwell was banging like hot interns. You know, he wasn't banging like wide gender studies majors. And
I don't even think they were interns. I think they
like
were
according to Michael Tracy, but he was like the PR firm that like sort of organized women against Swalwell, also organized the people against Plattner.
I'm sure they did, dude.
Yeah, this is
it's
part of a
very
machine.
Pattern. It's a pattern.
It's like a hit
thing.
squad.
Yeah.
It's a hit squad that doesn't. And honestly, I think some of it had to do with the fact that he was sort of an everyman, wannabe masculine, because there is that sort of
also.
Yeah. Oh well, that's a huge. Yeah, if you're doing that, you're always going to have that issue. But I don't know. The Democratic Party's they're having that. That's a schism that's happening. Right. But there is like who's the old Cajun guy? I
just don't know what white guy could they possibly have because they can't have a Jew, right? All the Shapiros, you can't have him. Anybody related to Israel's done, no matter what. You can't have a guy who's ever drank and fucked a girl ever one time.
Well, have you heard James Carville?
What guy are you gonna have?
Stuff?
You can only have gays only. It's the only possible thing.
Isaac, have you seen the James Carville thing?
Sorry. Which one? Yeah, I think I have. But which one are you talking about?
He's always the old. He's old. He's like in his 80s.
I know who James Carville is. Yes.
Yeah. Totally Clinton never. But he always does this chimp out. He hates Trump, but he chimps out and goes, "I don't know about this Democratic Party. We got to get rid of all the leftists in the Democratic Party because I'm just a man, you know, and I don't have a blah blah blah." That is I think there is a huge faction of leftist white chicks, or maybe not even leftist, maybe establishment neocon white chicks. Maybe they're Clinton, Democrats that are like, I don't want the communists. I don't want the Muslims. We're Jewish and we're WASPs, and we don't like this white guy. He is too masculine, and fuck Maine. Like, I'd rather lose Maine than like a man that fucks women ever gets power.
Yeah, no, I think that right. Yeah,
I was listening to like the Pod Save America episode on the way up, and it was just this woman just doing like a victory lap over like getting this guy out. Yeah. Some like woman that like lives in DC.
What is
like,
that?
I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I'm just like, great.
Yeah, because like the thing I'm wondering about this is my question is like who benefits from this on like the left side. So you're saying it's basically like there's
women everywhere want with this.
Yeah, it's like there's these extra party organizations, like these women's sort of whatever this little PR agency group is. Like it's basically factions of careerist women mobilizing against the Democratic Party, so hurting the Democratic Party, but for like their own gain. So there's these like parasitic kind of like careerist women.
Well,
who
they're
are
hurting
taking
it.
down
They
Democrats.
think they're helping it because if they can remove a white male who is problematic from the coalition, that opens up a space for a torta, you know, to take his place. Maybe, and it's not going to happen in Maine, which is funny, is like you actually had a great opportunity in a blue stronghold to take a seat from the Republicans with like a guy, just a guy. And it was to the point where Republicans were freaking out about this every day. I didn't know who the fuck Graham Plattner was if it wasn't for every Republican talking about him nonstop. Never saw Democrats talking about him. I never saw Hassan Piker raving about this guy. You know, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just, he was a character only in the right wing, as far as I know. I don't think, like, my dad, who's a libtard that watches CNN every day, had no idea who Graham Plattner was until this thing popped up where he's like dropping out of the race. They're like, wow, that racist
He was a
piece of
very
shit.
right-wing coded guy, you know. He was kind of like Chud coded because he was in the army.
He had the he had the
was
Nazi
like
thing.
He had the Nazi tattoo.
Yeah, he was like a fat, unfuckable chud who ran for the Democratic nomination.
But it's great. I think there was like a weird thing. Like, I think a lot of right wingers wanted him in. He was like a middle of the road Redditor with a Nazi tattoo. And I think there's a lot of
I'm reading this differently. I'm reading this totally differently. I'm reading this as he was a darling of the actual left, right? Of the far left. I think they were probably really excited about him because he flips the seat. They get to live the fantasy that their biggest mandate right now, their number one mandate is white dudes, right? That's they're like dying to get white dudes back, right? So he fulfills that. You're right. He's kind of chuddy, right? So they get to pretend that they still have any relation to like oyster farming of the people. And so I think he was like exactly, I bet like was the DSA on him? Like did the DSA yeah. So my sense is that he was a darling of that. And he got taken out more by people who didn't like his Nazi tattoo. And yeah, like kind of like a series of women who once you activate the female NGO network, they're going to get you. Like they're going to like once they have their teeth in you, they're not going to let go.
Well, yeah. So dead. Isaac, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So I think it was probably DSA is probably actually pissed about this, like at a core level. I would
probably
bet.
Yeah. He was like their guy.
Yeah.
So
he
was
cheat.
the guy of the far
DSA
left.
DSA fucking cheats like openly. So if they can get somebody in there, they'll force them to win. Pretty much, they really do. They cheated in LA. I saw it happen.
Well, you're talking about DSA.
Yeah, well, the far left, whatever you want to call it, this thing that is eating the entire Dem party, and it's amazing. It's actually incredible.
I think there's a couple nuances there, right? Because what we saw in LA was a Democrat machine mobilized for lesser of two evils. We'll do anything so that Pratt loses. I think more than a far left, you know. I don't think this is a DSA. I don't think DSA is even very well organized. It's actually more.
Yeah, maybe
of like,
DSA is sort of shorthand.
It's the NGO. Well, I guess what I'm saying is and maybe I am reading it wrong.
I mean, you raise a good, like, right. How organized is the far left in Maine? Probably not that organized, right? I don't know. I have no idea. But if the DSA,
I think he was just a decent candidate that shows up. And because remember the voice fry guy video they were showing? They kept showing the video of the guy with the voice fry him and a vocal fry. Yeah. Him and the Asian chick were the ones that found him. They were I think they were far leftists. These are like political operatives that found this guy, Graham Plattner, and like made him into a political person. And they were starting to get interviews because people were like, oh, you're smart. You found like a white guy that like speaks right wing or something, speaks to the normal man.
Yeah. No, I
So
think
yeah, I think there's a, I think it's,
that.
and maybe it's not a far left and a far right. It's similar to the right wing thing. It's like, it's more of, it's establishment versus outside the establishment people. And there's mixes of ideologies on both sides of that. But I think they got rid of him because there was a more powerful lobby of anti-white dude than there was far left.
I think, yes.
Let's get a common sense white guy, smart people.
So Jack, what do you see as having happened? And do you see this, like, what are the factions and how are they going to ever, like, is it ever possible for a white guy who's like not Gavin Newsom to ever survive?
No, not in my opinion. I think it's just going to be like everyone with like whatever that type of background is just going to be like anyone with any like real life experience who like hasn't sort of wanted to be a politician since they were like 12 years old is going to like whatever not be able to be a politician. It's like now just going to only be for like people who have been like class president for like their whole entire,
like Nithya Raman type of people who just they go into the pipeline,
like the most type A people.
Yeah.
So I think you're just going to be able to like research everyone so well, and like anyone that's like lived any sort of life is going to have like something wrong with like how they live their life, you know?
Right.
Apparently. But like that's why the Republicans just aren't going to lose, because they just don't care, or they care about winning.
Well, so you're,
I don't think they
well,
do.
I guess this, as a, yeah.
Sorry.
We just come from the star, and it's just very different, like the LA political system.
Well, LA is just completely fucked.
Yeah.
There's no normal. There's no chance. I mean, they cheated here. They cheated the tax election too. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's even more proof.
Tax election?
Yeah, you didn't see this? So simultaneously to the completely and utterly fake mayoral election, the LA taxpayer, in the same manner, where the late bail-ins, luckily it approved a tax increase, like on the normal taxpayer of LA. Jesus what Christ. LA person? Did Joe Rogan and JD Vance talk about this? What person living in LA, where we already pay way too much in taxes, we can't afford everything, everything's affordability, what person is like, yeah, let's vote to raise taxes? No one would fucking do that, man. The whole thing is fake. It's entire. We live in a uniparty. California is done. It's toast. There is no democratic process here at all. It's over. It's a single party thing. There's nothing. I mean, yeah, sure. There's probably some regions where there's actual Republicans, but dude, I actually went on Saturday to an all-day training, the Leadership Institute for the CAGOP. And I saw it. I saw it up close. And, some of these people are great. I talked to some really smart people. The old sheriff Villanueva, who they kicked out completely unfairly, was there. He's the fucking man. Total awesome, like, cool guy. And he's trying to get back in office. But all these people are waiting around like it's a pyramid scheme. There's consultants who tell all the people that it's to do stupid shit and that it's okay to lose. They take up all the money, all the candidates raise money, give it to the consultants, and then they just lose. That's what the right wing in California is. It's just a pyramid scheme of giving money to consultants that you raise from your like friends and family. That's the entire fucking thing. Yeah, it's completely fake. There's no actual political process here. They do whatever they want. The unions, the biggest union runs the elections. The SEIU runs the elections. And they get the money from the elections. It's complete. It's over, dude. It's totally done. There's no democracy in the state of California. I mean, particularly in LA. So it's sad.
I feel like there's probably several cities like this in America.
I think people don't understand when you started printing ballots for everyone and sending them to their homes, which happened during COVID. That was the end of the democratic process, pretty much. It's fake. You can just go get 1 million of them They're flying around everywhere. You can print some from China, throw it in. You know, the whole, I think that was pretty much like the end in states where you have people who are really interested in that way. It's like you can just ballot harvest all day long. I think ultimately what will happen is the Supreme Court will declare it unconstitutional because it so obviously is, because you keep having this thing where, whoops, 3 days later, the Dems won. It happens every time. How does that happen? You know, and it's like that can't go on. It's unconstitutional. The Constitution has a day. It has to be 1 day. And there was like some slight, you know, exceptions to that for people who weren't, you know, these absentee ballots. But during COVID, they fucked that whole system. So, and they made it so that now everyone does mail-ins. And it's like, it's not a tenable circumstance. Like, there's no way. This is why Trump, you know, everybody tried to like condemn Trump for saying they stole the election in 2020. And he's, you know, like everything else, turning out to be 100% correct.
What happened in 2024? You think they just couldn't fake it?
I think in 2024, yeah. So a couple things. One, it was they probably, I think like people like Scott Pressler in Pennsylvania, they were just
think he did anything.
They were just so hyper vigilant in getting out the vote that I think it was just too risky to do the huge dump that they did. I mean, did they? What was there?
I agree with you, but I don't think that's true. For everything I've seen, I don't think Scott Pressler's actually done anything.
Why?
There's like no proof of that. I love Scott Pressler, by the way. He's a Northern Virginia guy. He's a good dude. But the Amish thing has actually turned out to be not true. There's been a lot of, I don't know. I just don't know if I agree with the whole process is a sham, but I think 2024 was there's an anomaly in 2024 and 2020 that I don't understand. 2020 obviously was sketchy. Everything you're saying is 100% true. Like, but then there's what does 2024 represent? That's what's scary to me because I don't know. Does that
what do you
mean
like? What does it represent? What do you mean?
Does the machine say, okay, we got to give them 2024? We got to let them have it back?
Yeah, I think
trust
so.
Kamala?
I think basically the machine abandoned Kamala, right?
Yeah, that's probably the most plausible.
It was too risky for them to go up against Thiel, Musk, Zuckerberg. Like, it was too dangerous to go up against all those people, right? I mean,
Elon.
Here's the question. Elon. I said Elon. In the middle of the night, did we see this same bullshit pattern that we're seeing everywhere now, where it's like, whoops, a boop, right after they report the first initial things, it's like the numbers completely change. And wow,
you know what was so great about this election? This again, 2024.
Did
it was
they
like
do that though in 2024?
No.
Did you see
it was
that
it was
pattern?
over. It was over by 10 p.m.
Thing? Yeah,
there was no. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
so that tells you
for some reason there was no
press
conversation about that.
I think they just didn't. They didn't press the button. They did the numbers and they were like, it's not worth it because we might lose, and if we lose and it's that obvious.
Yeah.
Where were you guys that night?
About the
Wait, what?
Where were you guys that night?
We had a party in LA, a big party.
I was at the Blaze headquarters in Dallas. I was with my
The Blaze. Oh,
I used to work for. I was working for the Blaze at the time, and I was with my wife and my kid, and everybody at the Blaze, and it was awesome. It was Glenn Beck was there. It was like if you're shutting out, if you could. Oh, dude, there was a bunch of people there. Like there was a bunch of other celebrities there that were like sort of just like in Dallas and were like invited. Working at the Blaze is tight because like the way they set up everything, you're always like in the mix. So yeah, we had the party there. My wife, who's a libtard, was so upset. But yeah, we were like, oh my God, everybody was like, we're going to go home tonight. So nobody was like, we're going to get hammered. It was like, it'd be weird because it was like, and then it was like, oh shit, we're going to win. So then we just started drinking and it was awesome.
Yeah,
we were like, wait, what's going on? That's where it's like, okay, so they must have just had to have, we were letting their foot off the tape.
Dude, I was actually.
And I think there's this overcome. That's what I just don't want to give up I still believe in the Republic that like in a 2024 situation, it was like, it was too big to steal or whatever. It was like, you can't steal this one. This one's 2020 was like, well, everybody's like sick and has diarrhea. They can't leave the house.
Yeah, I think they had a lot more plausible deniability in 2020. And then in 2024, they also, remember, people kind of forget this. They abandoned Kamala in the very end. I don't know if people remember this. I had a huge Substack piece, one of my best ones ever, that was after one of the debates. I can't remember which one it was. She performed so bad. It was like the worst thing I've ever seen. She had no answer for anything. And I remember even she was like, they asked her, how are you different from Joe Biden? No answer. And she just clearly hadn't prepared at all. Like she hadn't like sat down with her people and like done any work. And I remember after that watching and seeing Dana Bash, who I literally think Dana Bash is like one of their top propagandists. Like I think Dana Bash is like pulling strings. And Dana Bash said, she said, well, she just totally didn't do her job. She didn't do the job. And I was like, oh, okay. This is you being like, it's same scene with me. Like she was saying, we're not going to like help you anymore because you just didn't show up and you didn't do what you needed to do. And it's like, if you don't, we can only help you so much.
Do you think they're going to run Newsom for the next one?
Yeah, I do.
I think
they're definitely going to run Newsom, and I think he's going to win. And I think we're going to be in the Dem Reich for the next 30 years. And
I guess if he goes against Vance.
I think Vance. I love Vance. I love Vance. I love Did you guys hear him on Rogan? It was great. I fucking loved it. I'm a big.
Dude, I thought he was so fucking fake on Rogan.
Oh, really? All right. So tell me your Vance. Oh, you didn't like it.
I love this.
No, it's because of the Israel thing.
It's not because of fucking Israel.
Anytime anything is anti-Israel, Denzel's going to issue the Israel talking points, which is
I cannot like JD Vance
about
and I
Israel.
have my reasons for not liking JD Vance. It's not all Israel. It's not. He wasn't even anti-Semitic.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't nice enough to Israel. So all the shills launch into JD. They're mad at JD.
He wasn't at all anti-Semitic in that interview, but he. What I don't like about Vance is he plays dumb. He's obviously a brilliant, really smart striver, Silicon Valley, married top caste Hindu like genius, but he pretends to be this like
Hindu?
Married some like Hindu smart medical fucking lawyer woman or something. Like he's an elite. Like he's a very smart 150 IQ elite guy. And he goes on Rogan and Rogan asks him like, are there aliens? Like, have you looked into this? Like, do aliens exist? And Vance's answer is literally like, well, like I wanted to know about that, but I've just been so busy these days. I just haven't had time to really like look into it.
So
man, the vice presidency,
man. That's the
vice presidency is just such a man. The hours just go so late. I just haven't had a good old boy like me hasn't had a chance to really look into this whole.
That's a genius answer, though.
But it is, but he's just so full of shit. And then at another point in the interview,
not that big of a deal. Like that's okay.
At another point in the interview, he drops this line. I remember he's like, Joe, I'm just a bad liar. That's the thing about me. I'm just a bad liar. It's like, dude, shut the fuck. You're obviously such a calculated machine of political success.
He's a Magoo. He's good at what he does. Here's the thing, though. There's going to be a massive schism on the Rubio and JD Vance, and Adelson money, Dunn money, big money's on.
Yeah, all the Jews are going to. You can already tell the Jews are going to go against Vance because he's.
They're already. This is the battle lines are drawn.
Sufficiently pro-Israel.
Yeah,
and he like dares to question. He dares to question too much. But that will be up to
Rubio to decide.
So dumb, bro. Because Rubio's not going to win. The Newsom will destroy Rubio, and Newsom's going to be 1 billion times worse for Israel than JD Vance. I promise you. It's going to be so bad. Half the Dems just pulled all the money from Israel. It's over. The Dems are done with Israel, dude. It's fucking done. They have no interest in any of them. Shapiro, they couldn't even get. Shapiro was a great candidate. Could not do it. And who's the leader of the Dems? Mamdani now. So it's over, dude. It's completely done. It's done. It's so.
I mean, I would obviously vote for
Jews
Vance.
But Jews are not gonna stop voting Democrat. So it's not. I don't think what you're saying.
Oh, they will. It's going to shift massively. You'll see. It already has. I mean, it's not. Again, that's the thing about the Jews. It doesn't really make that much of a difference.
It's only 13 million Jews, exactly. Right?
There's none of them. So it's not. It doesn't make a democratic difference that much how the Jews vote. I mean, it's interesting to see how they vote,
well, it
but
depends
it already,
where Jews put their money.
From last time went like this. Already from last time, huge shift for the Jews. I still think it's a little more majority.
I don't know if that's true or not, but the money, the people with the money, though, yeah,
we did a thing for tablet on it. I know that this for a fact. They shifted massively.
I'll fact check. I'll fact check during the break.
Back check that shit.
But hold on, but I think it is important. Like the Jewish influence is in their money, in the things that they own, and so it doesn't. It is they outsize their influence. Obviously, we already know. We know that we're all J-pilled here at Mama J Magazine. The big money, the big Jewish money, is already lining up against. But it's more which. I'm trying to figure out what it really is, though, because like
it's such a bad idea.
No, because it's not
candidate.
crypto. I don't want to use crypto, but it is the technocratic. Because this is going to be AI, sort of. It's going to be OpenAI, Anthropic. Who do they choose? They actually, I think, are going to be the kingmakers of the next 20, 30 years.
For sure, they hate
right.
Newsom,
so like
dude.
those guys are all going to go with. It's going to be the technocracy. Yeah. And I think a lot of the right wingers are going to have to decide, oh shit, like technocracy means a lot of things that I don't know. It's not MAGA. Some MAGA guys are in there.
Do you think who is better against Newsom, Rubio or Vance?
I think they're both. Rubio, I think, is better than you'd think. Because he's classic, he's old school. If you see any of his stuff when he's in front of Congress, he's very good at being combative. But I do think he is. He can be like methodical, or sort of like he'll like revert back to like just like retarded 2000s politics sometimes, like with the Indian stuff. You're like, no, Indians are the greatest thing ever in America. Just like JD doesn't say that shit, and his wife's Indian. Like JD's just smart. He never says the wrong thing.
So, I know, but this is why JD Vance also, I think, like, there's a lot of.
He is a bitch, though. JD's a little bit of a bitch. You know, he's like that loser emo kid from high school.
He sends a little bit of a shiver down your spine because it's like, you're right. He always says the right thing, but it just feels like he doesn't really stand for anything. It doesn't seem like the thing about Vance is when he was young, when Vance was young and he was
Mima.
Yeah. Or his new, like, dude, like him writing this book, Communion.
I will say, like, when I saw the word Mima in his book, I was like, ooh, cringe. Mima.
There's no fucking chance JD Vance.
Okay,
Mima.
Yankee, we get it.
Mima.
There's no way he's like
actually says Mima. Does anybody actually sit around saying Mima? Cringe.
What do your kids call your dad?
Not Mima.
What do they call him? What do they call your dad?
They call him Tom. Hello. It's called
from the first name?
No, I'm joking.
You guys
they call him Grandpa Tom.
Grandpa Tom. Yeah, that's some Yankee ass shit. My dad's Papa.
What do you call it? Yeah, okay,
my dad's
that's
Papa.
Fine. No, Papa's totally normal. Mima, that's too far.
Mima is like your great grandma or something. You don't get it. You're like Fuentes. You are giving.
You are from fucking Northern Virginia.
You're giving Ellis Island right now, dude.
LARPing Southerner.
I'm sorry. I'm a heritage American.
Hey, Virginia is the capital Confederacy. Am I right?
Catholic Confederacy is
the capital of the Confederacy.
Oh yeah, capital Confederacy.
Let them know.
Can you? I was just going to try to football you, but you actually care about football. I forgot. Okay. All right, Jack, what do you think? Let's hear from Jack. What do you think is going to happen?
I thought he said Catholic Confederacy. I was about to freak out.
2026?
Yeah,
no Catholics, no Jews.
2028. 2028.
Definitely Vance. Rubio's not going to make it.
No,
Vance,
I don't think so,
Newsom. I'm still waiting for Hunter Biden. You know, he's like,
Biden's going to be running, but hold on. You also
got a big Hunter piece coming out. So I just did a ton of research on this today. We have a big Hunter Biden piece coming out because I read the book. Me. And I kind of love him. I kind of love Hunter.
I have his. Yeah, we'll get it.
I'd vote for Hunter. Yeah, he's
Or
not.
not.
It's not possible. It's not going to happen. It's
He's gonna,
too
why would
dark.
you vote for Hunter?
He
There's
can't
no
just
way.
go
Faggot.
from zero. He can't go
6
from
years.
zero.
But he's already like cleansing his reputation. He's like doing like watercolors and shit. 6 years of
He's just
watercolor.
not-
Hey, somebody
You're a changed man.
clip Isaac saying he'd vote for Hunter Biden. What?
I would. I don't give a fuck. I would totally vote for Hunter Biden. I mean, not over certain people. I'd vote for JD over Hunter, obviously, but I would vote for
Okay,
Hunter
who would
Biden
you
in
vote
some
for
capacity.
Hunter over?
In some capacity.
Who would you vote for
I'm
Hunter
not.
over?
I don't. Okay, I'm not saying I would vote for him necessarily for president of the United States. I
So
don't
you
know
just-
about that. I'm saying like for some office.
Vote for school council,
Comptroller.
local PTA school board.
Look, I didn't say
Sheriff?
what I'm voting for. I'm just saying he gets my
It could
vote.
be post
He gets my
office.
vote.
guy. Yeah, it could be any job.
That is, hey, he gets a vote.
Ombudsman. Hunter Biden.
Ombudsman.
That is like such a good Larry David bit right there. Just,
I think he's a real G though.
I'm not
actually.
saying
I
I
think
vote
he's a
for him
faggot.
for anything
Yeah.
other than he gets a
I think
vote.
he is a bitch in some ways, but he also is kind of like legit.
I think he's a
I like
faggot who makes gay paintings and
Yeah,
fucking
you don't-
does drugs and says bullshit and has no actual value to him at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the worst. God,
He's a
You
fucking,
I swear, if
everything
you just
about him I hate.
if you just go viral on Twitter for like 6 weeks and you're like married to the, or your dad's the president or some shit, Isaac's gonna be like, dude, this guy is the next fucking. This guy's
You guys
gone.
were reading the piece. He had a hard life, man. He had like a. Did we talk about this? Did we talk? I think we talked
Yeah,
about
his brother died.
Yeah, all right. We already talked about this. Sorry.
We
This
didn't
is
first off,
redundant.
if you don't know the Hunter story, listen. I don't judge. I love Hunter too. That's fine. He loves Poncho.
He's definitely running
Poncho
for
Post.
some states.
he's doing something.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
but
but
maybe he's
DeSantis,
just
we
doing-
haven't.
no, you know what
DeSantis
he
is the dude. I'm just saying
Who I
that
also
was one
love.
thing we
I'm
haven't
a
talked
big
about.
DeSantis fan.
So
I love
DeSantis
I'm
could
so down for
choose.
DeSantis, bro.
DeSantis could go, hey, Rubio DeSantis, we Florida the whole world. We take over
Do you
Central
realize
America.
how good the world would be if DeSantis was just the emperor of America for the next
That's what I'm
40
saying.
years?
Dude, DeSantis
That's what we
Rubio
need.
might be a
DeSantis
bit.
He's too fat. He's too portly. He's not going to ever be
No,
elected
dude, you do
president.
Rubio DeSantis. Rubio on the front of
love
the ticket. DeSantis, whoever he chooses to be.
Oh
VP.
yeah, Rubio DeSantis would be pretty good, but it's
But
too much
also, you
Florida.
could
Too
say
Florida.
JD, and you could see DeSantis. Whoever DeSantis chooses to go, or how he plays this, that ends up maybe perhaps being a kingmaker for.
I think
whoever.
you're kind of right though that the AI. That's a very good point. That the AI people are going to kind of dictate this. I think you're probably right about that. I think that's going to be, there. And how could they not go with JD, bro? I mean, he's a teal
digital
guy. JD's
people-
a fucking teal
Yeah.
boy. He's a teal boy.
Yeah.
It is going to be the
Teal blood
technocracy
boy.
against the
Do you think he's
gynocracy
banged people?
of both, right?
I
And the
think
left
JD
doesn't have
banged-
a.
Just kidding. Just
I
kidding,
would
JD.
Yeah, there's something going on.
I mean, sorry.
Harrison, you said something like a lot of the right wing guys are going to have to grapple with where the technocracy that decides this election doesn't align with their shit. Like, where do you think the chud?
I don't think they hate
doesn't
Indians.
align with?
They don't hate Indians.
Right.
They're not identitarians as much. Sometimes they are. You get Musk loves delving into that stuff. And some of these guys, I think that's why I liked talking with who was our boy Razib Khan. I like talking to a guy like that. It's just like I think they are all just like, hey, dude, I just think the way I think. They're not really driven by a lot of the where the wind is currently going. And some of them we're not going to agree on some things. And some of that's going to be like, yeah, like
More Indians.
or like they're not going to have the heart to deport everybody violently, and take care of white people, poor white people, because that's populism, which is a different conversation. And maybe AI leads us to more of a populist situation where we can do UBI, because some of those guys do talk about UBI, right? So you get some of these weird communist ideologies on the right, and you get Tucker, who has become a populist. So you're going to have this, I think you're going to have this whole populist technocrat And even that might schism too. You're going to have the more right-wing populists. You're going to have these more sort of libtarded techno-capitalists on the right. But I just think that whole thing is different now. The right is a, you know, I don't, people can be gay and all that stuff now. I don't think people really care about that. So there might be a decoupling from AI and Christianity on the right, which I think is who is God, who makes the decisions in our lives, and that's going to be the weird stuff over the next 5 to 10 years. Because
I wonder also how much of an impact. Like, I would have thought like a year or two ago that basically the 2028 nominee will be whoever Trump picks. Like, if Trump says Vance is my guy, or if he says Rubio's my guy. But now I really wonder actually how much Trump's sort of like nod is going to even matter by 2028. No. I don't think it will.
I mean, he might go out as an elder.
Will matter? Of course it will.
It'll matter, but I just don't think it's like a decided thing. Like if Trump says, you know, I love Rubio, I favor Rubio, that means it's over for Vance. You know,
we got to kind of see what happens in these next 2 years. I think there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of things that are gonna happen. My feeling is that it's gonna be Newsom. Newsom's gonna get it, and it's gonna be the Dem. We're gonna be the 30 years. We're all going to jail. We're just completely.
No, I tend to agree with you.
Right.
Yeah.
We need political prisoners. We'll all be having this exact conversation in Guantanamo.
Yeah, literally 5 years from now, we're going to be literally in re-education camps.
Dude, we're going to be doing this podcast from Tel Aviv. That's going to be the only option that we have.
Yeah. I really do think. I mean, because it's like I think they waited it out, and I think the economy is so utterly fucked. The economy is so fake. It is unbelievably fake on every level. The stock market hasn't crashed. Everybody acts like the stock market. There hasn't been a recession in like 10 years. Everybody's like, that's totally normal. It went down a little bit. Like, no, the stock market is 100% fake. It's completely fake. Watch, it's gonna later on. People are like, why didn't we know? It's like, yeah, everyone knows. They're just enjoying it too much.
We generally know every 20 years, 20 or 30 years. Usually, we get a nice.
No, it's supposed to happen way more than that. It's been a bull market for like 7 years.
Yeah,
it's just endlessly going up.
I think the economy is definitely fake and impossible, and no one can buy a house, and it's all fucked up. And I think
it's just all concentration of wealth. So the commies are right in that sense. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be basically you're going to have two choices. You're going to have communism, or I think the right is going to be forced into the technocratic side because it's going to be the only answer. Like it's going to be communism, or it's going to be hope that we can reach some kind of AI singularity where everything is mass produced and we get enough capital and wealth generation and, you know, some form of UBI that's not like total communism. You know, some like JD Vance was on Rogan talking about, you know, maybe the American people need to own a stake of equity in AI so that when AI replaces everything, you get like that dividend cut to you as a check. It's going to be that, or it's going to be redistribution. Those are like the two options for the economy long term.
How are you gonna get a motherfucker to like go through abuse their whole life and, you know, go like start a heroin addiction and then like shit, they go to jail and then they become a line cook and then they become a fucking chef and they become like the greatest chef of all time and they make millions of dollars? How are you ever gonna get somebody to ever do that ever again if we get to that point? Like if we get to UBI, like, and it's just like everything saying, just anything. How do you ever?
This is a good point.
How do you get anybody to ever aspire to anything?
Yeah, everybody needs to go to Cuba. You go to Cuba, nobody does anything in Cuba. Literally, nobody does anything. Everything's closed all the time. The museums are closed 100% of the time because nobody goes to work. Everybody's like, yeah, I'll go to work for an hour. Makes no fucking difference.
Look at Spain and Europe, dude. Like you can't. Really there's like 3 software companies in Europe.
I think it'll.
You know,
I think
like,
Americans.
It's like.
I think Americans are pretty unique. Like I think Americans, even if we have like the JD Vance dividend system where we all get like UBI checks, I think basic Americans are going to want to participate in the economy to
That's
try to get
not how
rich.
it goes, dude. That's
Because you
not
want to
how it
get
goes.
rich. You don't
Well,
want
how
to
do you,
just
but
be
how do
like,
you get rich in an economy
Never
that's
how it
bland?
goes. Yeah,
No,
because
but how do you get rich in an economy
remove the
that's bland?
Yeah, exactly, and you remove the pressure.
That's the whole point.
You remove the pressure from the system, and you need the pressure all up and down. And if you don't have that, it just gets fucked.
no, I think it will still
And-
be an economy. People will still be buying goods and services, and you can still make new goods and services that allow you to become rich, even if people are getting dividend checks from some kind of UBI.
Yeah, I just don't know how you create value, but if nobody's working. But
I mean, honestly, it's going to be exactly what it is now,
unless
which
you
is that
own
most
the
people,
compute or something.
most people already have fake jobs or sit around or collect welfare or don't do anything. And then there's a percentage of people who, no matter what, want to try to get rich and get as much money as they can. You know, that's still going to be true.
I will say that having spent some time now for 6 years in the position of hiring people, it has completely changed my viewpoint of the world. And there's a lot of fucking retards, man. Most people are dysfunctional fucking retards. The amount of people that actually can wake up and do something is very small. Society is not really totally run by the top 10% of people. Everybody below that is basically a rutting fucking monkey who is absolutely useless and just has to be controlled somehow. So, I mean, they're fun to hang out with. I like rutting monkeys, but they are completely incompetent on every level.
I think your old take was better. I think that you're hiring. Well, your old take was black
Maybe
women are
that's
better
mean.
employees than white men, and
Yeah.
I think
the
that
problem is white men.
That's true.
problem is white men. Dude,
Sorry,
you're not
Jack.
talking about Shaniqua, who has to go work a shift at Wendy's. She gets up in the morning and she drives to Wendy's and she puts the fucking oil in the thing and she throws the potatoes in and she turns on the timer and she makes the fries. You're talking about very fragile white goys who you find on the internet, you know?
Who can't do it? What were you gonna say, Jack? Sorry.
Oh, in Maine, everyone's white, even the roofers and the day laborers are white, and it's a big problem because they want to be paid $35 an hour, and they're hungover, and they want workers' comp, and they just cause a lot of issues.
And they have
White
anxiety.
people are the most queen. White men are the most queen ass employees of all. They need special treatment all the time. But it's okay, of course, I say this as a joke and it's a bit, but people should have good treatment and it's good that people have that. I will say, man, I always remember when I was what?
Just Isaac saying people should have good treatment.
I love your random. It's your
people
brain just
should be
defaults.
treated with respect at work.
Yeah, your brain just defaults to the most boilerplate PR thing to say just to fill some time in your scheming brain. You're just and people should have respect and be treated nicely as goys.
They shouldn't be called faggots every waking moment of their life at work.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it
is nice to be normal to people and nice.
It's normal and to have rights,
but
lunch breaks and things that people have.
Lunch break.
No, they shouldn't.
Did Lacey ever ask you for a lunch break? Has anybody ever asked you for a lunch break, Isaac? That's actually kind of
no lunch
That's so
break.
funny,
Get the
dude.
fuck
I'm gonna start
outta here.
texting you.
Lunch break? What are you going to eat a whole? We're just going to go to a restaurant for lunch? What are you gonna do?
Dude.
No,
We're going.
I used to be one of these people, bro.
What?
I used to be one of these super fragile goy employees. I used to constantly, I didn't, and then I realized that was a bad way to live. You want to hustle. We hustlers. What sleeps on? We hustlers.
Yeah, you had too many black friends growing up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think America will maybe last as some sort of, I think basically we're heading to the big cataclysm of some kind, and then after that cataclysm, we'll kind of figure out like what's the long haul plan for America and like Americans. What does it all mean?
Ludkey, are you doing any shrooms up in Maine?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, you
Not
should.
yet. Maybe I will.
Is there
As an
shroom
addendum.
destiny?
I mean, I
There's
feel like
a lot
if
of
I'm in
hippies
Maine,
and
I
stuff
feel like
like
everything's green and like
Yeah.
you're not
Are
going to run
people
into
happy in Maine? Are people in Maine like good vibes? Are they happy?
Yeah, pretty much. Even like the people who are like definitely making $7 an hour, they're like how are you doing? Like mostly, yeah. There's a lot of domestic abuse. I'm seeing a lot of signs about domestic abuse.
Really?
Yeah. And then my like cute barista had like a black eye, and I was like, oh my god.
Whoa.
It's real.
Maine is domestic abuse capital. Who knew? That's an interesting
Damn,
fact.
dude.
I didn't
I was
realize
like,
that.
oh my god.
Wow.
Kind of
There's
cool.
like a hidden. I think there's like a hidden darkness here. That's like why Stephen King wrote all these books. You know,
Yeah.
That's
Grant,
what
that's
they
what
say.
took over Grant Plattner's brain.
The darkness took him over.
Yeah. I need to
Forest.
bang fat chicks.
Domestic
can't
abuse
stop banging 'em.
is domestic abuse is not funny. It's a serious problem
Yes.
Denzel's the
You want-
victim.
Yes.
that both genders can endure and deal with and suffer from.
Except so not true in any way. And that's like, there's no one gives a fuck. If you get beaten up by your wife, absolutely no one cares at all.
Literally, no one cares at all.
No one gives, and if you complain about it, everybody's like, yeah, okay, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was reversed, you'd be thrown in jail instantly
Killed.
and immediately
Probably.
forgotten by everyone.
For what?
Getting abused. I mean, look, I'm not saying you should. It should be this way. But you know, if your wife hits you, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about you in any way.
Yeah. Don't be a faggot.
I know.
Yeah,
no,
dude,
I'm not saying
Denzel-
that.
dude,
I am
Denzel
not
texted
saying
me
it
this.
should be that way.
Dude,
All right.
hold
No,
on.
Harrison. No.
What, I can't talk about this?
No. Harrison, stop. We're not doing this.
Why? I
Alright.
can't talk about this one time,
no.
dude.
Not one time. I can't even mention it one time on a public broadcast.
I mean, I'm
Dude,
just
we didn't
saying,
get
this
very
dude-
good, not as good numbers today as the past. That's okay. Whatever.
Did you connect your Twitter to it?
Yeah, I did. It's always different. It's just the time. It's maybe, I don't know. Who knows? It's always random shit going on.
Well, you
All
had
right.
me
I think,
leading
are we
into
out of
this.
time? I think we're out of time, right? This is the end
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah, it's
All
over.
right, Jack, thank you so
This
much.
is the
Sorry,
end.
sorry that Harrison was such a
Bye,
terrible
homie.
podcast host.
Sorry, buddy.
We'll get better. But thank you so much and great piece. Everybody read Jack's piece. Incredible piece. Really, really good shit. Seriously, like very top level journalism called the SoundCloud Raper. I visited in prison.
Yeah.
But okay. All right, everybody.
Even
Bye.
his mom liked it.
Yeah, it's Wolf's mom liked it.
Thank you, Ludkey.
Okay.
Thank you, Denzel.